Okay, so welcome to my new devlog. I'm going to give this a try and see if it's popular. Who knows? Okay, so I'll give it a try. So this is my pixel artist software development, and I'm just getting started on this project. It's a brand new project, and this is my developer's log or vlog, and I'm Moose. So thanks for tuning in. So a bit of background first before I move on. So I've got a burning desire to develop games. I've had that for decades. Okay, so I've had a burning desire to develop games for decades. I've been developing software for over 4 decades. So I've developed many games, but none have been complete. None have had nice pixel art. None have been games that you would be proud to sell in a shop, for example. Okay, or on the App Store or something like that. So they've been my own games with crappy graphics and crappy sounds and crappy music and you know, a bit embarrassing really. But the code behind the scenes might have been beautiful, and I developed my own game engines, but the games themselves were pretty basic really. Okay, so I want to do something more than that now. I want to develop something much better. There's been a lack of pixel art, music and sound, and that's been a constant problem throughout the 80s and 90s and even into 2000s, I guess. Even today, there's plenty of free and cheap game art everywhere. It's everywhere. GameArt.org and everything. There's tons of free game art and cheap game art everywhere. But it might only be enough for a level or two. It never seems to be a coherent set of game art for a complete game. Unless you want to pay big dollars. Okay, and by big dollars I mean, not really that big at all, really. Maybe a few $1,000s you can get a complete basic game art set for a complete game. But then other people are using it as well, and it's so it's not your game art, and it's not unique or original. It's something that someone's selling to many people. But still, there's some bug and basic stuff out there, even for a few $1,000s. And I don't really want to spend a few $1,000s for this game to start off with, unless I'm well on the road to developing something that's going to be good and that people might buy. Okay, and then I'm happy to spend whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. I've got a complete lack of artistic talent. I don't have an artistic bone in my body. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that title screen was pretty artistic. You must be good at art if you can do that. And I just dragged this color palette onto PowerPoint, and it designed a slide for me. So I just chose a design from a set of designs. So this is thanks to PowerPoint's wonderful designer. And I saw it and I nearly fell off the chair. I thought, wow, I wish I could do something like that, but I don't have an artistic bone in my body. So complete lack of artistic talent on my part. My brother's an artistic genius. He's a graphic designer, artistic genius. And I've tried to get him involved in games for many years, many decades. No luck so far. Okay, so I'm hoping that might change in the future, but you never know, do you? He always seems to be very busy. So I'll try and do it all myself, and that includes pixel art, maybe even music, but certainly sounds. I'll have a crack at some pixel art. I'll have a crack at some sounds. I'll have a crack at some music as well and see how I go. I might get enough music to do a level or start of a level, and then we can change it later or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be pretty rubbish. But anything I do is going to be pretty rubbish, but I'll give it a try. Okay, so I'm actually going to have a go at the art as well, even though I'm rubbish at art. Now, I've tried some pixel art tools out there, and to be honest, they all seem very cumbersome and clunky. Very quirky, very cumbersome, very clunky, very hard to use. They weren't intuitive at all. So, again, I didn't spend much time learning them, to be honest, and I'm not going to mention any names. But what I tried left me feeling pretty cold. Yuck. These tools are horrible. And I thought, well, maybe I should dev the tools as well. Certainly for creating pixel art, maybe for sounds. Who knows where music might go. Okay. So maybe I should dev the tools as well. So this is my devlog for my first tool that I'm thinking of developing, and it's only at the thinking stage at the moment. And it's a pixel art tool called Pixel Artist. Okay. Because as far as I can tell, nobody's used that name yet, but then they probably have. It's very few names that haven't been used yet. So I want to explore creating a pixel art app, and I'll do it via a devlog or a dev vlog if there's interest. If people are watching them, I'll upload them to YouTube. If people aren't watching them, I won't bother. I'll go and do something else. I'll just write the software and keep it quiet. But this sort of logs for people who are interested in following along with the development process and seeing what's happening. Now, my software, even after 4 decades of programming and software development, I still start with a storyboard. So I still do lots of storyboarding, and even if it's only a storyboard in my head, okay, so I might not write it on paper. I've got a couple of screens in my head where I can put storyboards up and flick through them, and otherwise I'll write it on paper, or sometimes I'll even draw it in PowerPoint. If I need to show other people and get reviews and things, I'll draw it in PowerPoint. So for this video, I've drawn a nice neat one in PowerPoint. So this is what I'm thinking. Okay, so there'll be a grid here, and this is basically the pixel art. So this will be 1 pixel. Each one of these squares will be 1 pixel. Okay, and you'll be able to click in here and drag, and it will drag. If you click with the left mouse button, the left mouse color will draw, and if you click with the right mouse button, the right mouse button will draw. So you could have different colors selected. So you could have two colors selected at once. I might also do the middle mouse button. I don't know. It's pretty hard to hold and click and draw with that though, but left and right certainly. Okay, and you'll have a width of the grid in pixels and a height in pixels. So that'll be 10 cells wide and 8 cells high, or 32 by 32, or 64 by 64, whatever you want. Okay, 256 by 256 if you want to get really fancy, or just 8 by 8 if you want to do basic Game Boy sort of graphics. Okay, and there'll be frames, so there'll be 1 or more frames inside here, and a color picker, and you'll have left mouse button, and you can click up here and with the left mouse button and it will change that color, so you draw with that color then, and click in here with your right mouse button and it will change that, so you can click in here and draw with your right mouse button and it will draw with that, whatever that color there is. Okay, and I'll make it so you can replace all this color with that color, so you'll click on that and you'll choose a color, click on that, choose a color, and then click replace all, and you can replace all the things in the current frame or in all frames. So that's something I might do. So frame copy and delete and stuff, copy, delete, move, whatever. So you can copy that frame and then paste it into position 2 and then start working on that frame. So it's the next frame of animation. And then some exporting stuff as well. So I'll export the frames as a sprite sheet, and or maybe even as Java code. So an array of pixels. So you can just import the array straight into your Java software, or Python. I'll have to say you can export Python and Github script and who knows what. Okay, so these sort of things I'm planning to do or thinking about doing. Okay, and again, I don't know how far I'll get. I might get halfway through developing this tool and decide, oh, okay, so that pixel art tool that I tried a few months ago, I'll give it another try. That wasn't too bad, so this project might not go anywhere. Or other people might be out there on the internet saying, this is exactly the tool I want, Moose. Can you develop it? This is exactly what I've been waiting for. Nice and easy to use and obvious and intuitive. And so I might proceed. So it just depends on how things go. I don't know, and I might do a few frames of animation and then work out pretty quickly, yep, I am really rubbish at animation, so I should leave it for my brother or some professional. And as you can see, this is really pushing my artistic boundaries here. A square and a rectangle really push my boundaries, so I really have no talent artistically. Okay, so that's sort of where I'm heading, something like this. Multiple frames, a drawing grid where you can just click and drag with the mouse to highlight cells, a replace function, maybe a fill function, so you can fill it all with a certain color or whatever. Maybe have a circle and a line and whatever tools here, so you can draw a circle in here. Click and drag, and it will draw a circle. I don't know where it'll go. So the sky's the limit. But this sort of tool that I'm looking at here, even just the way it's storyboarded, is so much easier and more intuitive than anything I've tried or looked at so far. So if I could develop this to my way of thinking anyway, I'd be miles ahead of anything that's out there. Everything I've used, and like I said, I've only spent a little bit of time on each tool, was so cumbersome and hard to use. I'm just thinking, why? And often when I think why, I just think, I'll just develop it myself. It's so much easier than learning someone else's tool. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. So if you want to follow along in my vlog, please do. If you like what you're seeing, please tell me in the comment. And thanks for watching.